This is a 48.19 carat piece of Coober Pedy Seam Opal, sent to me by Riley Gunn of 53 Frogs on Opal Auctions. It's called Seam Opal because it forms in spaces or seams between layers of sedimentary rock. That is why most seam opal is flat on the top and the bottom. Now, this is an extremely beautiful opal. I have no idea what Riley might have sold it for, but if I saw this on sale online, I'd be expecting to see a price of $6,000 or more. Normally, the first thing we do with seam opal is what? As possible,
we grind around the edges.
We grind the edges all the way around in order to expose as much opal to get a better idea of how to cut it. Now, cutting opal doesn't mean actually cutting it, like with a saw or a knife. Cutting opal primarily involves grinding and then polishing, and we do occasionally have to cut it with a trim saw. With this opal, the edges are already exposed and the color looks great, so I will first grind the top surface. That's the part that's really going to show, right? Now, I call it the top surface, but it could be either. I call it the top because it's more flat than the other side and should be easier to cut. Now the color is being exposed on the top and it's very impressive. But I need to get through all of that sand and I'm worried about those brown spots. Spots like that have caused me some big headaches in the past. And no, it's not just because I have a big head. I don't have a big head, do I, Sheila? This is crazy beautiful color, but I prefer for my opal not to have dark spots on them. They look like moles. Remember when I told you guys that I almost never use my torch? Well, this is that almost never time because I need to get an idea of how deep the spots are. I tried my best and I was able to see the spots, but I just didn't get it on camera. They were about 1 millimeter thick. So now I have to ask myself, what would Roy do? Use the flex shaft, Luke. Well, I got most of the brown off, but in the process, I created 3 relatively shallow craters, as I expected. But as you can see, there are small brown dots in the craters. So I'm going to grind deeper. The craters will still be there, but after the final grinding and polishing, I expect for them to be gone. Now, the craters are definitely more shallow, but they're still there. You know, this is a very fine opal, and I would like to see what the other side looks like. The opal is certainly thick enough to handle it. Let's just do it. Well, I only was able to remove half of the sand on the bottom, but the color is impressive. It almost looks better than the front side, but I need to get the rest of this sand off. I'm going to do some tidying up with the flex shaft. I don't think that Roy would approve of a burr like this blue disc. He doesn't know what he's missing. Or maybe he does. On this side of the stone, it's pretty thin, and there are residual spots on this side. I had hoped to get one huge cabochon out of this, but I guess I will use this thinner side for a round cab and the big side for the king stone. Well, you know, this just doesn't look right. It's so unimaginative. There must be a better way. Now that's more like it. If I can make this work out, I'll be happy. 2 medium-sized stones would be acceptable at Pulitzer Opal, if they're beautiful. If not, it's a failure, and I'm going to close down the laboratory. Well, this is something I can work with. I better move on to something else. I don't want to spoil it for you. So if you want to see more of these stones, you'll just have to go to the end of the video. I'm sorry. Not sorry. As the 2024 games come to an end, Olympic fans are excited by the new events for the 2028 games in Los Angeles. You'll be pleased to know that the International Olympic Committee has selected Pulitzer Opal to break the news. So it is my great pleasure to present the new 2028 Summer Olympic events. Sheila, you're just going to have to calm down here. I mean, we're real news reporters now, like Walter Cronkite and Ron Burgundy. First, there's the return of the 100-meter crawl. In the original Olympic Games in Greece, this was the most popular event of all. Maybe that's because pants hadn't been invented yet, and it was a lot like going to the Colosseum to watch the gladiators, except a lot more bloody. Ooh, that hurts my kneecaps just thinking about it, but it will be entertaining. And finally, the biathlon returns to the Summer Games. As you know, in the Winter Games, the biathlon consists of skiing and rifle shooting. For the new event, rifle shooting is combined with push brooming. Now, I've actually tried this myself, and believe me, toting a rifle and manipulating that broom is something very few people can manage. It's really tough, but isn't that what Olympics are all about? Another new event for 28 is tonsil hockey. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can do that, and maybe you can. But doing it at an Olympic level requires extreme precision and, well, agility. Now, we don't know yet how this will be scored, but there won't be a lot of perfect tens, if you know what I mean. The last new event that we have found for the 2028 Games is synchronized winking. You'll be amazed by the skill of the U.S. winking team, but as expected, they'll be challenged by a great Australian squad. We can't wait. So that's it for the new Games. I'll see you in LA in 28, if it's still there. Hyalite opal is a very interesting type of opal that you need to know about. Fair warning, it does not have play of color, but I promise you're going to like it. First of all, what is hyalite opal? Hyalite comes from the Greek hyalos, which means glass. But it's not glass, it's opal. Hyalite opal was discovered in 1794, and it was given the name Müller's glass, after a famous German scientist named Franz Josef Müller von Reichenstein. Now, I do like that name, but at Pulitzer Opal, no mineral may have the name of a person, unless the name is Pulitzer. And no, Sheila, we're not going to name a mineral after you. Pulitzer is just your nickname. So you can forget Müller's glass, and you can also forget another bad name for hyalite opal, water opal. I mean, just look up water opal online, and you will see that about 100 different types of opal are called water opal. And some of them probably aren't even opal. The people who call their opal water opal obviously are not viewers of Pulitzer Opal. I said that you will like hyalite opal, but why? Is it the botryoidal or grape-like patterns that's seen in many of them? No. This is why you will like it. Under UV light, hyalite opal fluoresces green. At least most of it does. But why does it do this? Well, hyalite opal contains a touch of uranium. And yes, it is radioactive, but the amount of radiation is too low to hurt you. I mean, that's what they say. Now, this is my favorite piece of hyalite opal. On one side, it looks like a piece of granite, but on the other side, it just has this shaggy white-looking stuff. No grape-like patterns or anything. But that's why it's my favorite. And my second favorite hyalite opal is bacon hyalite opal. This is really hyalite opal, and it does look a little bit like bacon, but it does not glow with UV light. However, if you get really close, you will find that it smells like bacon and uranium. All of these pieces of hyalite opal came from Mexico, which is the best source of hyalite opal in the world. And that's all you need to know about hyalite opal, except for this. I'll be giving this hyalite opal bracelet away in the giveaway. Just remember to leave a comment. That's how you enter the giveaways. And now for the final stones. Tina is a feisty yet sophisticated opal with charm. She's not very big, only 11.39 carats, but she's plenty big enough to get your attention. Sheila says that Tina is one of the most beautiful things ever at Pulitzer Opal. And by things, I assume that she means anything, not just opal. But if you see Tina, you're very likely to see her twin sister, Lena. Lena weighs 15.96 carats, but is otherwise pretty much a carbon copy of her sister. They like to play, gossip, but their pet peeve is when Zuck comes around to stare at them. But are they identical twins? I don't know. We're waiting for the results of the DNA test. But whatever the results, they're still twins, and they're the first to ever appear in the Pulitzer Opal laboratory. One day, maybe they'll go to college together. Aren't twins just adorable? The only opal in the giveaway for next time is this fine Hyalite opal bracelet. It does look good in UV light, particularly at a disco, but believe it or not, the green color can be seen a little bit in sunlight. Good luck to everybody. And now the winners from last time. The winner of the 2.9 carat opal named Cutoff is Buddy Roll. The winner of his, the 19.19 carat opal, is Marman. And the sad winner of Hondo, the 21.20 carat, really bad looking Honduran opal, is Just Me Too. Well, it's been a great run this week at Pulitzer Opal. New things, and I can't wait until next time. And the twins can't either.